They had a clever way of kind of getting out of a bad situation. I was like, I like that. Alright, so today I have something very special for y'all. Really different from what I normally do. I'm going to be watching both seasons of Umbrella Academy. I know it's a house school of kids who were adopted by some crazy guy, and yeah, that's about it. I am about to watch episode 1, so we'll see how this goes. Just got done with episode 1. Quick disclaimer, I had a nosebleed right before the filming of this video and I didn't reapply my makeup, so my face ended up a little bit splotchy. It goes back to normal in the next few videos, but just wanted to let y'all know in case you were worried why I looked a little bit different. My conclusion, or my opinion so far, is that this is a smart show. There is a lot of clever storytelling. Phantom of the Opera music, I really liked that. Walked on stage with a violin and I was like, oh, there's violins in this because I play violin. So I was like, yay! I really liked that. There was one scene in particular, I'm calling it the dollhouse scene, which I'll put a picture of it here, where you can see all the people in the house and you're kind of like looking in. It was such a great scene. I'm gonna watch the second episode now, so yay! We're at the end of episode 2 and so far I am confused but intrigued. There's very much a mystery to this series and I find that it's really interesting. One of the songs I played at the beginning, one that I really like, so I'm just here dancing and singing to the song, and how they paired it to the visuals with number 5 and everything going on was really cool. There's a lot of really beautiful cinematography and like they're really using every aspect they can to tell a story, and those are my favorite types of stories because it's so much more in-depth and it makes the world feel so much more real. I'm really finding a lot of interesting material to react to. I'm on episode 3 now. Okay, so I watched episodes 3 and 4 together, and that footage unfortunately got corrupted, so you're just stuck with my lovely voice. Essentially, I just thought that the show was going in a smart direction, and I was excited to see what was going to happen next. Now on to episode 5. We're done with episode 5, and a lot has happened so far. Each episode keeps bringing, like, adding something to it. I wasn't really sure of the direction they were going with things, but I think I kind of know where they're headed now. Yeah, one thing I did notice that I have notes on is that with Vanya, that at certain points in her apartment, depending on how she was feeling emotionally, the colors would change to be yellows and greens, and like her apartment turned into this like really like great place to be. But then when she was in a moment of uncertainty, it went back to kind of those blues and grays and kind of like dreary. So I thought that was interesting that they were using colors to kind of show, you know, where Vanya was at emotionally, to kind of help us see why she was making the decisions she was making. But oh, let me tell you, there's a certain plot with her that the whole time I'm just like, red flags, red flags, red flags, red flags, and run away. I took that plot down a particular road and I was like, wow, that's, oh, okay, we're going there. The end of the episode. Okay, yeah, something's happening. Yeah. They're definitely leading into the next episode. We got 4 episodes left in this season, and I imagine they will be quite eventful. On to episode 6. I think it's going to be really interesting. So I have watched episode 6, 7, and the beginning of 8, but then I fell asleep in the middle of it because it was 1 a.m. We have figured out a lot of things about our characters and about different plot lines and stuff like that in episode 6, I believe it was. No, episode 7. It was 7. Was it? I don't know. they're all turning into the same episode right now. But in one of the episodes, the writers did so time travel is an element of this show, so that's not a spoiler. They went down one direction with the timeline and then redid it, essentially. So those plots have died, and which is a really interesting concept, But it's really frustrating for the viewer because I was on board with how things were going, and then it like fell apart. I am going to probably rewatch episode 8 because I only have like one little memory from when I woke up in the middle of the episode, and I'm like, I'm gonna be lost if I don't rewind this, so yeah, I am. So it turns out I only actually fell asleep for like 5 seconds, and I did know exactly what happened, so just catching up on the rest of it. One thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of miscommunication between the main siblings, and that is also a writing technique. That is a way to instill conflict. Like, we, the audience, know everything that's happened, but because there's 7 of them and they're all in different places, different times, they don't know exactly who did what. But also, violin bows are not that sharp. You know, hold up, give me a second. Okay, there is a point at the end of a bow, but it's not no, you're not gonna like hurt. No, like this is like nothing. So I'm like, what is going on here? Does she have a blade on it? That's just my inaccuracy I want to point out because I know violins. I played it for, how old am I? I've been playing violin for 8 years now. This is not a weapon. You can like whack someone over the face with it, but like, you know, it's not, you're not gonna, this is not a weapon. So, unless if hers is just, it's just like a super bow, so it's a weapon. But yeah. All right, okay, I'm gonna watch episode 9 now. Another intense episode. I mean, we're almost at the finale, so of course it has to be like really intense. It was kind of set up from the beginning that what is happening was going to happen. I'm trying not to spoil it for y'all because I definitely think it's worth taking a look, and I don't want to be like, oh yeah, this happened, and then spoil it for y'all. It was a really heavy episode, so I'm still kind of like, it hasn't quite hit me yet. This series does a great job for characters and the relationships with people, and that was something I noticed that maybe more in the later episodes so far, like 5 and later, they really did focus more on the characters' relationships with each other, rather than the kind of the mystery. And I think that makes the plot a little bit more compelling because, you know, by episode 8, by episode 9, you're gonna be more attached to these characters, so it's a lot easier for the writers to use those characters' relationships as a like bargaining tool. On to the finale. Season 1 finale. Goodness, I just started the show yesterday. A lot happened in that. Still kind of processing. I am a little bit tired right now, so my reactions for the next bit might seem like I like don't think the episode's as good. It's just because I'm tired, because this show is awesome. But of course it's gonna be the traditional finale where they're fighting the big bad and going from there. Yeah, it was a good finale. It was a good kind of wrap up of everything, as well as a progression into the new ideas. So this is a very, I'm too tired to come up with like, this was spectacular, wonderful. I mean, it was, but I just, you know, communication's not my strong suit. But yeah, on to season 2 to see what happens next. Season 2, episode 1. Not what I was expecting. I feel like I say that for every episode so far. Yeah, basically just an introduction to this plot and how the series is gonna run this season versus last. Very different. I do think that they've got some interesting dynamics happening here. Season 2 definitely has a really different vibe from the first season. Like, I kind of forgot that I was watching Umbrella Academy. I'm interested to see what happens next. So, on to episode 2. Okay, so I got a little bit too into the show and forgot to film my reactions. Basically, I just finished episode 7 now. I've watched this show in the span of 2 days so far. My gosh. I ended up staying up till about 1:15-ish watching the shows, but I had work in the morning and I was like, oh no. I watched these all really quickly and they're all blending together in my mind, of course, because it was midnight. I like season 2, even though it's different. Definitely something you have to kind of get used to a little bit, maybe, It's a very different feel from the first. And like actually when I was watching it, I kind of forgot what show it was, but then I was like, oh yeah, and mainly because the characters look so different from the first that I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that one was this character, and then kind of remembered. About to watch episode 8, and yeah, we'll go from there. Episode 8 is over. I actually caught up to where my family was watching the show, so we watched it together. I do definitely recommend watching this show with other people, because with the humor, for example, there are things that like I found funny, but I wouldn't necessarily like laugh at them. But then, you know, when I'm watching it with family, my dad's laughing at this thing, and then that makes my mom laugh, and we're all kind of like, you know, experience the show on a little bit of a different level than if you're just watching it by yourself. So I definitely recommend, if you have someone who likes shows like this, watch it together, and that just makes the experience more fun. As to the actual reactions to what happened, okay, they're going down the expected route, but I don't think they're gonna stick to that. They're setting it up to that, but I feel like they're going to subvert expectation. It ended on a cliffhanger? Yeah, I was like, cliff notes? What? It ended on a cliffhanger, as with every episode as it does. But that's also the other thing. We're only on episode 8, and it seems a little bit too early for them to actually be like, this is the plot that we're going through. There's still essentially 2 hours of time frame in the story for them to completely change how things are going. I don't think it's gonna go the way they're setting it up, because that is too repetitive. But then again, what do I know? And like, I have no doubt that a season 3 will be coming out probably within a year and a half's time, and I'll probably be back here doing another reaction, because this show is cool. Also, this show is not afraid of gore. My goodness, every episode, there's just like, someone's getting stabbed, there's blood everywhere, someone's head is exploding, and this and that, and those aren't spoilers, because this is just every episode. So if blood and gore isn't really something, as it's just not your speed, then this may be a show they might want to skip through the parts, or just, you know, they're definitely not afraid to go to a little bit more grotesque places than maybe like traditional media. But again, they don't really have as many limitations. I'm not sure if this is TV-14 or mature. It might be mature based off swearing and gore. Good show so far. And on to watch episode 9 before I get off on another tangent and this review portion becomes the entire video. This is my reactions for episode 9 and 10. Okay, so episode 9, I was right. I predicted that the way they were going was, I'm like, this is too simple, it's too easy. The show is too smart to just repeat the same thing they did the first season, and they didn't. So episode 9 was just about kind of like figuring out, okay, well, how is the world gonna end this time? Then episode 10 was the finale. There were some unexpected things, and I remember I got really frustrated at one point, because when I watch TV shows, I get too emotionally invested, and so I'm like, if I were there, how could I solve it? What could I tell the characters to do to actually solve the problem? And I get frustrated when I'm like, wait, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening. They had a clever way of kind of getting out of a bad situation. I was like, I like that. I would have not expected that to happen. I was like, okay, I'm actually okay with that. So, and then of course it ended on a cliffhanger, and the thing that I like is you can tell that they already have plans set in place for what's gonna happen and what they're gonna do. Like, I loved this show, honestly, as I am a huge nerd, and as you can see, I added my little collection of Lego people from all different fandoms. So, and this is another show that feels like one of those kind of nerdy, kind of, full alternate world type of experience. I imagine whenever there is going to be an actual Comic-Con where people can go in and dress up, they'll be dressing up as these characters. It has the comic book origin, so that's kind of why it fits in this group too. I definitely recommend this show. Check it out. It's on Netflix. The new season has been out for about a month now. It's a cool show. I had fun watching it. I'm planning on making more videos like this, reacting to media and other kind of content of this manner, so stay tuned for more videos like this. If you like this content, or even, there's a truck going by, really? Really? You're interrupting my video here, man. Oh no, that's a school bus. No. You're telling me... No. If there's a school bus in my neighborhood, that means kids are going back to school right now. They better be wearing their masks. Thanks for watching. And that's all I've got for today. And there is another car. I mean, this is my fault because I have the window open. But seriously, we never have cars. What is happening? But yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. So, bye.